Hey, here's a video on structure on base, the importance for kickboxing and the importance in MMA. Hope you enjoy it. So today I want to talk about base and structure, and specifically base and structure in your lower half, in your legs, and why it's conducive for kickboxing and how it can be and why it's conducive for MMA as well. And I got the big gloves on, so we'll just start with why it's very important and conducive for kickboxing. So kickboxing, the distance and the rate of exchanges are a lot different from MMA. So the distance is going to be a lot closer. I don't have to worry about takedowns or anything like that. I don't have to worry about any wrestling exchanges. And the exchanges are a lot more often because there's only 3-minute rounds, and because you're not worried with that long distance with the threat of the takedown, the exchanges are just gonna happen more often anyways. So if you look at some high-level kickboxers, let's say Glory won championship, their hands are always nice and high and nice and structured right here. I'll go southpaw so you guys can get maybe a better angle. And my hands are always in good position. If they're not making full contact against my forehead, they're out and extended, maybe more like a Muay Thai, traditional Muay Thai style, but it's always in this strong structure, strong base. You never really see people playing a very high level striking game here with their hands down. It's always really well structured. These forearms, these pillars and these posts are up and tight, ready to receive and ready to counter back. So from this pillar and post, Brandon throws a jab, he throws a cross, I should be well extended. He throws round kicks, I should be able to take on a round kick. Whether I come over the top or underneath, that's really up to you. But with this structure, with this base, you're gonna be able to get into some high level exchanges at a fast pace of speed and be able to counter in those exchanges as well. And that's really what we're looking to do here from that structure and from that base. And what's most important with the kickboxing, and as we get into talking about the MMA really, is the base within my legs and the structure within my legs. And that has to be strong and that has to be solid. And if you look at some high-level Muay Thai fighters, you'll see a lot of times they're shifting that weight back into that rear leg, but it's still very well structured. When Brandon throws a kick, I'm still able to defend and check. He throws a body kick, I'm still able to defend and check. Even if it's on the opposite side, I'll shift, I'll defend, and I'll be able to check. And it's all kind of generating from the strength and the structure throughout my whole body. You're not gonna see a ton of Muay Thai fighters doing a whole lot of bouncing and moving in and out like this. Not to say that you can't have success. I think there are some people that play that game particularly well. You look at somebody like Sanchai can play that game pretty well. But even as he's moving and his hands are a little bit lower, the base and the structure in his legs are kind of always there. He's always grounded, he's always planted in that strong base. So that's really the importance of kickboxing, is making sure that you're maintaining good structure throughout your entire body, throughout your legs and throughout your arms. And specifically defensively, when Brandon's attacking me, I have to have this good structure in my base. All these exchanges are happening very quick. I need to be able to walk Brandon down, have good defense while I'm picking these shots off with good structure. If my structure starts to fall apart, Brandon starts to punch and my arms are going all over the place and my legs are going all over the place, that's when the scoring shots are starting to add up a little bit more. It looks like he's doing more damage and I'm falling a lot more out of position. I think one of the best examples of this is Gorian. You check him out, he does a great job with his structure and with his base in his legs and with his arms, and the ability to create his offense from his defense of just walking people down, staying tight, having that good tight guard into his offense is really impressive. He fights for Glory, he fights for one now actually, so I would check him out. But the base and the structure between your legs and your arms, super important when you're talking about kickboxing, and we'll get into some MMA here in a bit. Okay, so base and structure in the context of MMA, we got the small gloves on, so let's talk about some of that. So obviously, I don't have the protection and the surface area of the big glove. So if you start playing a game where you're in this high guard, you guys can actually check out when RDA fought Eddie Alvarez. He came into this fight trying to play this high guard game, and Eddie Alvarez was just splitting through the guard, cutting him up really bad. So it doesn't particularly work well in MMA. There could be some fighters who are making it work. I haven't really seen too many that can make it work. There's just too many openings. The space is too much. So what you're really gonna find is that the structure removes itself from the upper body and really transitions to the lower body. So when you think about structure in the lower body, you're thinking about fighters like Izzy, like Alex Pereira, like John Jones, like Conor McGregor. People who, regardless of what's going on up here, always have great structure within their legs, are moving really solid within their legs. And you look at somebody like a Dominic Cruz, who is constantly moving, never really has much structure in his legs. That's why a lot of his fights are going to decision. So, you know, he's always using movement as his number one defense to evade, to get in on wrestling exchanges, but the power of the structure with your lower body in this position is always gonna be far superior. And obviously you wanna play a little bit of both, right? I want some footwork, but when I wanna generate power, I have to make sure that I'm sitting down on the base. And that goes for my defense as well. Okay, obviously we just talked about Dominic Cruz, who is using kind of footwork as his defense, as he moves and evades and playing these different kinds of games out here. And that's certainly a game that you can play as well. But if I want to play a pull game, a slip game, a roll game, all that is gonna come from the power, strength, and balance of my lower body, right? If my legs aren't in position, I'm not gonna pull very well, right? My legs aren't in great position, I can't slip particularly well. I can't roll particularly well. So all that is happening. You know, you looked at high-level boxers and their legs are always planted in the ground, and that gives them the ability to so fluidly move their heads in different positions, in different planes, backwards, forwards, rolling, moving, pivoting, reverse pivoting, and all that is really happening from the lower body. So just think about with that with the small gloves, right? There has to be some structure, and if we lose it up top, where we can't use the smaller gloves to defend, we have to transition to the lower body. Have to make sure I'm structured. Doesn't mean that I can't switch and play a footwork game and be taking different angles. But it means that if I want to generate power, if I want to get into some more effective defensive evading and head movement, that has to come from the structure of my legs and my base within my lower body. Hope you guys enjoyed that video on structure and base. If you did, like, subscribe, and share that vid.